Welcome to Cinder Shadow Gaming. I am your host, Cinder Shadow, and today I bring you a event that's going to happen starting tomorrow. It's the Throne of Eldraine constructed event, and it's something that is worthwhile taking a look into. In about 12 hours from now, the time that I'm shooting this video, there is going to be a Eldraine constructed event. I don't know how long it lasts, but it's very much like the events of the past, except Eldraine, I think, has a little bit more give and go within the one set that this constructed event will be part of. You've got Adventure as a big archetype here. I think they're going to be very good. You've also got red, blue, draw, go style. Adventure can easily be black, green, black, white, or what I would say is just go mono black, because this set was actually designed to be a monocolored set. So if you're drafting or anything like that, if you go monocolor, you're going to do things a lot better and a lot greater than a lot of other colors, because the color fixing isn't quite there unless you have a lot of the Fable Passage and other things that make up for that mana cost. Unless you're going with a green subcolor in it for the mix, then I wouldn't try and mix it up too much. Green has a lot of mana fixing in it right now, and we've seen it become a bit of a problem right now in Standard with the amount of mana fixing and color fixing there is in green. And we've seen in the past when there was mana fixing like this, strong cards that did that, they ended up having to ban the one that was energy based back from Kaladesh and Aether Revolt days. Just because it fixed too well, too easily, and that's kind of the similar thing that's going on right now in Standard. So this Eldraine constructed, I think, is a breath of fresh air for a lot of people, especially this weekend going into the Mythic Championship, where a lot of people are seeing the goalless Field of the Dead decks do something crazy, and you're going to see a lot of mirror matches this weekend. So I would maybe stick away from the normal rank queue and maybe give the constructed a try. It's only 250 gold, which is very nice. You do, if you get 5 wins, you do get the 2 ICRs. That's individual card rewards, one of them being at least rare in quality, and the second one has a higher chance of being a rare or mythic rare at that point. Do you get wildcards out of that? Unfortunately, no. Wildcards are only given out of packs, and I have seen quite a few posts lately from on Redditors talking about drafting and stuff like that, how they're not getting the wildcards they need to complete certain sets and stuff like that. Well, you're not going to get the wildcards if all you do is draft. You need to do the pack buy ratio to get them, or if you have the Mastery Pass, hopefully you get them out of the Mastery Pass. Or like some people are doing, they are not opening a single pack right now, and they're taking all the gold they've earned to date and just dumping it into the drafts. Then when they go to open those packs, they have more chance of getting gems out of the packs or completing play sets of cards. So it's kind of works a little bit in your favor. Myself, I don't have the patience to wait that long in the packs, so I usually try to open them right away as I'm looking for those wild cards so I can build bigger, better decks. And when you build those better decks, you tend to get a little bit higher of a ratio winning, and that higher ratio of winning means you get your gold faster, and it's a give and take snowball effect. If you're not so much into the competitive side of things though, and you're just playing it very leisurely, then you don't need to worry about that. I take a perspective of a free-to-play player, but with the competitive aspect to it. Now, with the Throne of Eldraine constructed event that's going there, I put together a very quick deck list, which we will go over now. So this is the event. You can see it's approximately 12 hours to the dot at the time of me filming it. 250 gold or 50 gems. Save your gems. Gems are more valuable for other things like draft or sealed events or mastery passes or such. Even if you get into here 250 gold, you bow out, you get no wins. You get 50 gold back. So it is only costing you 200 gold, at which case you need 3 wins, or actually it would be 4 wins to earn back all 250 gold. But at how little gold this is, it's not going to be that big of a deal. If you do bow out and you don't have many uncommons of sets, then this is a way to maybe stock up on uncommons fairly quickly. You spend 200 gold, you get 2 uncommons. So that it's kind of a trade-off, where you spend 1,000 gold to get a pack, you get 2 uncommons there, and then 5 commons. Do you need the commons? Do you need the rares? You have a chance of these turning into rares and mythic rares, so now you got to ask yourself, is this maybe a better way to go than just buying packs? And I would say no, because out of the packs you still get the wild cards, where in this case you wouldn't get the wild cards unless you see something else I don't. As for decks, I put together a quick mono black deck, if you guys want to see. This is, I'm running 4 Lucky Clovers for this deck, as I'm really looking at this for adventure style stuff, and I do expect quite a few black decks in this, or quite a few people running black, because you do have Murderous Rider as one of the best removals of Throne of Eldraine, so you're going to expect a lot of people to run that. You also do have the Cat Witch combo, so there's a high chance people are going to be running black somewhere, and in case they don't go the mono route, they're probably going to be running dual color, and that's part of the reason why I have Stonecoil Serpent in here. Not only does it have reach and trample, it's an X costed, but it has protection from multicolor, and that means it has protection from like things like Oko, and you're going to see a lot of people running green blue or green black, green white, would be my guess is the other way, but ultimately black, because of the Murderous Rider and the Cauldron Familiar, you're going to see a lot of people running black. So because of that, I've put in the Spectre Shriek. Not only is this a really good card, but this is going to make things very balanced for you, because you're probably not going to end up having to exile a card from your hand very often. This is a really neat card also. If this happens to be the last card in your hand, you have to exile a card, but then you don't exile a card because you have no cards to exile. So this is good really early in the game, and this is really good late in the game when maybe they're holding on to that one card and they're trying to ramp up to the mana to put down that big beefy bomb of a creature that's going to overtake. You've got Foulmare Knight. It's a zombie knight, 1 to cast, Death Touch, but he also has the instant adventure, where you draw a card and you lose 1 life. So with the Lucky Clover, you're going to get multiple triggers there. Blacklance Paragon. Well, everything in here, mind you, except for a couple creatures, are knights. So this is, you're probably going to trade off either with a creature on defense, or you're going to gain much more out of this because you're going to give Death Touch and Lifelink, or Mega Touch, whatever you want to call it nowadays. I think they really should put Death Touch, Lifelink together as some sort of ability. It would be kind of funny. Order of Midnight. With Lucky Clover, Order of Midnight can become a very unique card, especially if you have one of these in your graveyard and then you start cycling this card through the graveyard with Lucky Clover, so then your hand is always full of these knights and other cards. Smitten Swordmaster, especially when you have Lucky Clover down again. You gain X life and each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of knights you control, or he comes down as a creature as a 2/1 lifelink for 2 mana. That Curry's Favor with the Lucky Clovers on board will really tick down their life total very quickly. Like I said, 4 Lucky Clovers, that's going to give you copies of adventure spells. Ayera, I have 3 copies of this currently in my collection. It's 3 black, it's a 2/3 elf noble. This is one of the only creatures that is not a knight, but whenever a black creature enters the battlefield under your control, your opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life, and you can sacrifice another black creature, draw a card. So if you happen to come into the situation where they're targeting one of your cards, and you have this on the board, and you can then sack that card to this card to draw that card, not only does it get rid of, it stops that from happening, but if it happens to have an adventure trigger, then it doesn't go to exile because the spell doesn't completely resolve. So that is something to note of with the adventure stuff going on. Then we have Murderous Rider. Like I said, this is probably the best removal card in current standard right now, especially in Throne of Eldraine. 2 black and a generic. It's a 2/3 lifelink. When it dies, it goes on the bottom of your library. So if you have a way to continuously sack this, you won't get milled out with this card, as long as you can always get it on the board and get it off the board, which with Ayera, there's that possibility. And we will see, that'll be another thing that I should warn. There will probably be a mono blue mill deck here because we have too many mill cards in Throne of Eldraine that just seem to synergize together way too efficiently, and it's a very, very cheap deck to build. Then there's Swift N, Instant Adventure, 2 black and a generic, destroy target creature or planeswalker, you lose 2 life. Well, there's only a couple planeswalkers in the set, but creatures are going to be solid. This gets rid of Questing Beast. Questing Beast is probably your number 1 thing that you're going to have to worry about with this deck because it doesn't trade very well with a lot of things. And that'll be another reason to have like Rankle, Oathsworn Knight, and Stonecoil in here because they will block Questing Beast. Oathsworn Knight, talking about Questing Beast, Oathsworn Knight actually won't die to Death Touch from Questing Beast because it actually prevents the damage instead of it doing the damage, although Questing Beast doesn't prevent the damage. Oh, maybe not. Maybe Questing Beast does still take it out, I guess. Yeah, because you can't prevent the damage from creatures. Could be interesting to see how that reacts because I haven't seen that actually happen on Arena, those 2 interactions together. That's very interesting to realize that while I'm shooting this. Anyway, Oathsworn Knight enters the battlefield with 4 1/1 counters. Attacks each combat if able. If damage is dealt to Oathsworn Knight, while it has a counter on it, prevent that damage and remove a 1/1 counter. So I don't know which one would actually override. I guess the Questing Beast would override that because it just says you can't prevent damage. So I only have 1 copy of Rankle. I would like to probably put 2, maybe 3 of these in this type of deck. 2 black, 2 generic. It's a 3/3 flying with haste. The haste is important on Rankle. Without haste on there, you probably wouldn't get as much value out of this card. If you happen to come down to where they don't have any creatures on board, and you can always drop a creature, which in this deck, you're probably going to easily always drop a creature because you'll be able to drop a creature, bring it back, drop a creature, bring it back, and continues that loop. So you can always keep their board clear then, or always make sure that you're trading. Each player discards a card. It's not always that great to pick that one. Same with each player loses 1 life and draws a card. Honestly, there's better ways for you to draw a card in this deck, and off Rankle is not the way you want to do that because it's also giving your opponent a card, in which case it's not that great of an ability. But each player sacrificing a creature or each player discarding a card is pretty good. Stone Cold Serpent, it's an X-casted reach trample. Multicolor, it comes in play with X 1/1 counters. It's probably one of the better rares of the set. I'm running 4 Castle Lockdwayne in here and 4 Witch's Cottages with 16 Swamps just for our mana base. The mana base doesn't really matter that much here because you're running it as a monocolor. You probably could get away with going down to 22 lands in a monocolored deck, but for now, I'm running it at 24 just because the event starts tomorrow, so it's something that I would take a little bit of heed and then adjust from there. This is just to get you guys started into that event. Well, guys, thanks for watching. This was a quick little deck tech for you guys, just in preparation for the Eldraine constructed event in MTG Arena tomorrow. Tomorrow is also Friday, and it is F&M, so I hope everyone has a great time at their F&M, and I will try to get my weekly Magic news video up when I can. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we will see you guys next time.